Hi, this is Razor Wire, and this is day 3 of a series I'm doing on signs and synchronicities for twin flames. And we are using the Spirit Animal Oracle to help us with animal signs. All right, so if I can get a card. Okay, the first card, we've got Cow's Spirit. So if you're seeing cows, this is to let you know that the miracles are endless. Okay, the Spirit has got your back, that there isn't, a limit to what Spirit is capable of achieving and what you are capable of achieving if you put your mind to it. And, if your intentions are pure, and you're sincere in your feelings and in what you want, everything is going to work out for your highest good and the highest good of everyone involved. So you don't have to feel like you're taking something from someone else. As long as you're acting from a good place, from a high vibe place, everything is going to work out in the best possible way for everyone. This is also a reminder that, if you have a lot of obstacles or seeing your ego has presented you with a lot of obstacles to your relationship, such as an age gap or, a distance or, maybe there's a relationship in the way or a career in the way. This is, saying that Spirit can perform a miracle. It can help you overcome these obstacles in the best possible way, that there really isn't, any limitations except those that you impose on yourself. We're the ones that put limits on things. We're the ones that put limits on our own happiness. We're the ones rationing our own happiness, but in truth, there is no limit. The potential, it's infinite. So we have the capacity, in fact, to be happy every day, not just some days. I know I am one of those people that is guilty about rationing my happiness as if I only had, a certain amount, for my entire lifetime, and I have to be very careful about it. But this is a reminder not to do that, that there's more than enough miracles. And if you need, a lot of help, because there's a lot in the way that Spirit can still make it happen for you. And then we've got the seahorse, and if you're seeing seahorses, it's a sign to watch and wait. It's a sign of being patient, being present, observing the situation, that you don't need to make a decision right now. You don't need to have everything figured out right this minute. It's okay to take the time that you need for yourself to work things out, to get in touch with your intuition and your heart. And then we have the electric eel spirit, and it's bring your ideas to life. And this card is kind of like the Ace of Wands. Yeah, in the tarot, it's about, inspiration. So when inspiration strikes, go with it, go with that, follow that instinct, create. This is a time of action, this could be also represents sort of like a divine intervention at its finest, when you have this chance encounter out of nowhere, it wasn't planned, wasn't anticipated, but bam, suddenly there, you're face to face with your twin. So, if you're feeling inspired to work on your mission, you don't have to wait for your twin. You don't have to wait for that relationship to start. You can start right now, right where you are. You can begin, working towards your own, personal goals and your own personal mission. Yeah, so let, inspiration be your guide. And then we have the butterfly spirit. And this is transformation is beautiful. And I think we have all heard about butterflies associated with transformation, because the butterfly goes from a caterpillar into the chrysalis, and then it is reborn into this beautiful butterfly. And through this journey, you are being transformed. You are moving into your highest self. You're becoming the best version of yourself. And although those changes can seem scary, it can be scary to like step out of our comfort zone, trusting that those changes that you are making are in your highest good. And if you are being honest with yourself, completely honest with yourself, and trusting your intuition, everything is going to work out exactly like it should. This is about also, the courage to be your authentic self, to kind of come out of that, like, that cocoon, come out of hiding, and let your light shine for the world. Then we've got beaver spirits, and that's obviously about foundations. Beavers build dams. So if you're seeing this is telling you to focus on the foundation of the relationship, building something that's going to last, remembering how important the friendship is. A lot of times we forget how important the friendship is, but the friendship is what is going to hold the relationship together when things are tough, when things get really difficult. So it is worth the investment. And the dove spirit, and this is about peace, being peaceful. So this is, about meditation and healthy, clean living, and, things that kind of make you feel good inside and make you feel at peace. Having a creative outlet, if your emotions are when your emotions are getting out of control, having those constructive outlets, making sure that you have friends that you can talk to, or that if you can't speak with anybody at that time, write it down in a journal. Make sure that you express your feelings and are honest about your feelings before they overwhelm you. And always choose peace. Choose the path of understanding and compassion whenever possible. Listen to the other side of the story before jumping to any conclusions. Try not to take everything so personally, because a lot of times it's not about you. Your twin is going through their own stuff. They are also going through like massive changes, and it can be scary and overwhelming, and they have all of these, feelings and insecurities inside of them, and a lot of times, when they kind of disappear on you, it has nothing to do with you, right? It has to do with them and what they need in that moment and their healing process. So remembering not to take everything so personally. And then we have the canary spirit, and this is sing your own song. And this is to remind you to be your authentic self, to take off the masks, to stop kind of hiding yourself and to let people get to know you. Because if you want to attract people in your life that love and respect you, the only way to do that is to be yourself, to let people in, to let people get to know you. If you wear a mask all the time and you make some friends, you're going to be in this energy of, do they know who I am? What happens when they find out who I am? They might not like me anymore, and you're always going to feel in your relationships like this fear of being discovered or found out, or that you're not good enough, or that you can't trust, anyone, But if you are your authentic self all the time, if you're honest with your feelings, if you're honest with other people, then you know that the people around you are trustworthy. You know that the people around you love you. So give people the privilege of knowing the real you, because it is a privilege. Then we've got badger spirit, and that's about being fearless and bold. And badgers, they don't seem to be afraid of anything, and they are remarkably strong for their size, and they are, they can't be caged or tamed. You've probably seen the honey badger in like nature videos, and it's taking on these like dangerous predators, and it's just no fear. So this card is to remind you to be courageous, to go after what you want, to go after your dreams. So if you're seeing this, this is the sign that it's time to act. And then we've got the otter spirit, which is really cute, right? Otters are very playful, and when they sleep, they hold hands, and here they're all kind of forming their heart. So this is about those connections and those relationships which sustain us, which make us feel good inside. Those high vibe relationships, and although you're on a twin flame journey, it's important to remember the other relationships in your life. Family, friends, the relationship you have with yourself. These are all, extremely important relationships. I know sometimes when we, get caught up in a romantic relationship, we kind of neglect the other people in our life. But this is a reminder not to neglect those relationships, to spend time with those people that raise your vibration, that make you feel good about yourself, because this can be a difficult journey and sometimes it can feel lonely. So it's good to make sure that you are investing in your other relationships, especially the one that you have with yourself, because it's about coming into union with yourself before your twin. But this card also represents the connection you have with your twin, that unconditional love, that you are never alone, you are always together. Separation is an illusion. So this is all about, the human connection aspect. And then we've got hummingbird spirit, be here now. And this is to tell you to be in the moment, be present. Stop worrying about what's going to happen in the future. Stop worrying about what's already happened in the past. There's a saying that the future is dead. The past is dead and the future not yet born. So be in the moment. Hummingbirds have this extraordinarily fast metabolism, and they move very quickly. And they have no choice but to focus on the moment, right? If they start thinking too much about the past or the future, they would starve to death, right? They have to be in the now every moment. So you can learn from them when you see them that, hey, maybe I've been thinking too much about the past or the future. I need to try and focus my attention on the now and what's happening in front of me. And things will seem much, much less overwhelming when you do that. Because if you're thinking in the future, there's so many things that need to happen in the future. There's, the number of to-dos on your to-do list it's basically infinite. But if you think about what can I do right now in this moment to make my life better, what can I do right now that will provoke my happiness and my healing and my growth? If you focus on right now, then it's a lot more manageable and a lot less overwhelming. Then we've got the groundhog spirit, and it's time to let go. And groundhogs, they're kind of like hoarders, right? So this card is about letting go and surrendering. This is a reminder that you don't own your twin, you don't possess them, you can't control every aspect of their life, and you can't control every aspect of the journey and how things are going to play out. You have to trust that everything that is happening for your highest good, and honestly, the divine has a way of making things work out much better than anything that we're going to imagine. If you had a piece of paper and you could plan your whole relationship, down to the from the moment you meet all the way to the end of your life, no matter how detailed, no matter how beautiful and amazing that plan might be, the divine can still create something much, much better. So this is about trust, surrender, letting go. If you've been holding on to any grudges or resentment to your twin or against yourself or someone else, it's time to forgive and let go, to unburden your heart. Because forgiveness it's for you. It's more than anything, it's for you. It's so that you can breathe again, so that you can create more space in your heart to love, so that you can, so that your experience, isn't just this tightness and this anger all the time and this, going over the negative aspects. Is that really how you want to live your life? Is in that sort of claustrophobic negative energy. Probably not. Probably what you want is to be, happy and free and to have fun and enjoy your life. And that requires you to let go, because it's not about who's right or who's wrong. Ego is all about right and wrong, and ego wants to be right, whatever the cost. It doesn't matter who gets hurt in the path. Ego wants to be right all the time. That's why we have such a hard time letting go of old beliefs, right? If you've been believing in a certain way for years and then just suddenly have to say, hey, that wasn't good for me, that wasn't working out for me, that's, to the ego, that's admitting that you were wrong, that you wasted all of that time. And that's just not true, because all of those lessons that you learned were necessary to bring you to this point. So it is okay to move on and to let go from the past, even if at one time those beliefs really served you. And this is, I hate to go into so much detail because the video will get too long, but this is especially true if you were being abused when you were a kid. There were certain things that you did for the sake of survival. You were basically kind of stuck in this survival mode. And once you get out of that abusive situation and you are in a better place, it can be very easy to judge yourself for what you did in the past in order to get through it. It can be very difficult to let go of those patterns and to switch from survival mode to being alive mode. And that's something that I'm struggling with right now. But it is important to understand that while those patterns and beliefs may have actually been beneficial, that at the time you were doing, when you were a child, you were doing exactly the right thing. But now, as an adult, when your life situation is completely different, that's no longer right for you. It's like how we grow out of relationships. It's how when you have children, when they're 4 years old, they ask for something for Christmas, and they're so happy with it. And for years, a couple of years, that they love this thing so much, and then all of a sudden they're over it and they've moved on, and now there's something else that they want and something else they're getting excited about. So it's let yourself be excited. Don't feel guilty because you have grown out of a relationship or a situation, or because beliefs that have sustained you for a long time no longer serve you, and it's time to move forward. Never feel guilty about moving forward. Never feel guilty about pursuing your own happiness. Now we have brown bears, and it's take a time out. Bears hibernate, right? So sometimes you just need to be alone. You need to be in your cave. You need to spend some time doing you for a little while. Everybody needs alone time. And even when you are in a relationship with your twin flame, there's going to come a point where you both need some time and some space. And that's okay. And that's healthy. All relationships require, a certain amount of space in them, so that, you can be yourself and explore your own hobbies and interests. And this also makes me think of take a time out if you're feeling angry and hurt. So if you're really upset and you're thinking about riding your twin, it might not be the best time. You might need to take a time out for yourself, meditate a little, calm down, and then see how you feel after. One thing they say in anger management courses is if you're really angry and upset about something, give it some time. If after a few hours you are angry and upset, or if after a few hours you still have the exact same issues, then those are really issues that need to be discussed, in the relationship. That does signify, a real problem. But if most of those issues have fallen away, and most of them will, then you realize that was just the heat of the moment. That was just, how you were feeling. That was just ego, reacting to a situation. That was just you taking things, personally. Any real issues that are there are going to be there, and you can deal with them more effectively when you're in a better state of mind. And any sort of just petty irritations, they're just going to fall away if you give yourself some time. So never write, to your twin when you're pissed off. And then we've got eagle spirit, and spirit has your back. Okay, so spirit is on your side. Spirit wants you to succeed. The universe needs you to come into union with your twin to raise the vibration of the planet. You know, your mission is important. You know, it is a priority to spirit. So this is saying that, you know, Source hears your prayers. It knows how important this is, and it is to, you know, your guides and Source and everything, they're doing everything they can to make sure that this happens for you in the best possible way. And then we have rabbit spirit, and now is a lucky time. And so rabbits, you know, they represent luck and, you know, fertility. Rabbits are prolific breeders. So, you know, it's a time of opportunity. You know, it's a time of abundance. It's a time, you know, when things are starting to look up for you. So if you're starting to see, you know, rabbits, it can be a sign that things are starting to move again. Rabbits are very quick, and that things are starting to look up for you in your journey. And you may be in for, you know, some pleasant surprises. Porcupine spirit, it's time for beginner mind. So remember that we are always students in this life. You know, yes, we're also teachers, but we're also students. First and foremost, in fact, we are learning and growing, and your twin is also learning and growing. And you will continue to learn and grow and get to know each other even after you come into union. It's a lifelong process, getting to know someone, because we're always evolving and changing, right? And you need to give people the space that they need in order to continue to evolve and change. And, you know, sometimes, you know, you hear people say, I've done all the healing, I've done all the work, except to my twin now, because I'm exactly where I need to be, and it's all on them, and blah, blah, blah. But the fact is, you're still learning. And if you find yourself saying that, that's just ego talking. That's just ego wanting to be right. You know, no doubt that all of you here are doing the work, that you are invested in this journey, or you wouldn't be listening to this video, right? You're invested. But there's still a lot to learn. It is not easy to let go of those old patterns and old beliefs. You know, it's not easy to give up the satisfaction of feeling like you're right, like you're justified. You know, so this is to remind you to also to stop trying to justify and prove everything, to just let be, to be open to receiving. You know, this is kind of like the pages, you know, pages in the tarot card. You know, they are open and curious, and they are, you know, going through a kind of a spiritual awakening. They are maturing, and that's what's happening, you know, with you, and it's always happening. You know, even when you're 80 years old, you are still growing, you know, and maturing. And the turtle spirit is slow and steady wins the race. We've all heard this story about the tortoise and the hare. And the turtle spirit is to remind you, you know, to pace yourself on this journey, to take your time, to enjoy the journey itself, to do things in the right way for your highest good, not to force anything. You know, this is about the dedication. It's kind of like the Knight of Pentacles, you know, eventual positive outcomes, right? Positive outcome is assured. And this is about the dedication to that. You know, day after day, what you put into it is what you get out of it. You know, it's, you know, not rushing anything or demanding that things work out a certain way within a certain time frame. No ultimatums, you know, just letting be, moving forward step by step. Nightingale, love is all around you, okay? And you are love, and the divine is all around you, within you. Your twin is inside of you. You know, there is more than enough love. You know, you're never going to be without love in your life. It may feel like that sometimes. You know, you may feel very alone. You may not have close relations with your family, or a lot of people that you count on as a friend, but you always have, source. You always have your guides. You always have, if you're watching this, obviously you have a twin who loves you very, very much. So this card is letting you know to be the love that you want to see in the world. Give the love. Give to others, freely without expecting anything. Give from a genuine heart, and you'll find that the more you give in this life, the more you receive. All right. Thank you for watching. Please like and comment.